In my last video, a lot of Star Wars fans got upsetty spaghetti because I said I didn't like the Book of Boba Fett. But luckily for me, the YouTube comments these days are full of great advice. Like this guy here who says I should spend more time on the things I love than the things I hate. So today I'm going to take his advice and I'm going to make a video about something I love. Repro Star Wars figures. Because that's never divided the Star Wars community before. In the studio today I have my latest order from Stan Solo Creations. I'm going to talk you through these figures, so stay tuned.
Come with me, toy fans.
This video is proudly brought to you by Valaverse, the creative company behind the most exciting new action figure range available on the market today, Action Force. Make sure you visit the Valaverse.com website to purchase your amazing Action Force comics, toys and other products, and follow Valaverse on YouTube, Instagram and Facebook to keep up to date with the latest product news. All the links are in the description below. Shop Valaverse, because it's time for action. Hey toy fans, my name is Tony and welcome back to the Analog Toys YouTube channel. Now first up we have these vinyl cape Jawas. And there's really not much new to say here beyond what I've said in my other reviews of Stan Solo figures. These are spot on recreations of the originals. The plastic feels exactly the same. That feels just like the figures did back in the early 80s when we were first ripping them off of the blisters. But the great thing with these vinyl cape Jawas is they're not going to break the bank like getting an original. And personally, I've always preferred the look of the vinyl cape Jawa over the cloth cape Jawa. So you can see my original here on the left, and then on the right is the Stan Solo Creations reproduction of the vinyl cape Jawa, and it's just spot on. I like it so much, I picked up two. Nice little army builder there. Next up we have this wonderful recreation of EV-99. And again, this is a figure from what Star Wars collectors call the last 17, you know, the really hard to find, expensive figures. And with this particular character, he really commands a high price because the way Kenner made the original, the arms are very fragile and they easily break off. But Chris has just done an amazing job on this figure. The jaw even features the original spring-loaded feature. I have the first 79 Star Wars figures, all vintage and complete, but I'm not going to spend these ridiculous amounts of money for anything from the last 17. So to be able to pick this figure up at a fraction of the price of what an original is, I just can't thank Chris enough. It's absolutely terrific and I'm glad to add it to my Jabba the Hutt display. Now we've got the two different variations of the Death Star droid. And Chris has produced these figures, one in the original kind of silver chrome look and then a variant in the black. He may have even done more, but these are the two that I picked up. You can see Chris's reproduction of the Death Star droid here on the left and my original vintage figure on the right. Now the main difference here is where the original Kenner figures were vac metallized. Stan Solo Creations uses a process called electroplating, and I challenge anyone to find a vintage Kenner Death Star action figure that looks as shiny as the Stan Solo Creations version. And these two figures just look terrific when displayed on my original vintage Kenner Death Star playset. Now we have the Superfly General Lando. This is another one of the last 17 figures, and he's here in all his cape wearing glory. And the best part of this for me, again, it's another spot on recreation. The plastic feels the same, the tight joints, everything I always say about the products from Stan Solo. But the best thing for me is that without breaking the bank, I can now display my pairing of the Millennium Falcon pilots from Return of the Jedi. I also purchased within this order the set of 3 Jedi Ghosts. And we have Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Ghost Yoda. Anakin Skywalker is another one of the last 17 figures, a little bit easier to find because he was part of a mail away, and I have the original here on the left and the reproduction on the right. And the Stan Solo version is slightly taller than mine, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's wrong because these figures back in the day were made in so many different factories in different countries throughout the Orient. They used different molds, and the likelihood that some of these figures would have come out slightly bigger or slightly smaller is certainly believable. I mean, I've had vintage figures before where the legs are the wrong lengths and the figures can't stand up properly. And what Chris Smith has done with this set is he has taken the Anakin Skywalker body and he's given us a ghost version of Obi-Wan Kenobi by using a reproduction Kenobi head. And I have a suggestion for you, Chris. And I know you don't like taking suggestions, and I respect that because I don't like taking suggestions about the videos that I make. But this figure would look amazing if he was painted up in his original coloured costume from Star Wars, because this body mould is, I think, looks far more movie accurate and it's superior to the original Obi-Wan Kenobi figure. So if you could paint him up in the right colours, drill a hole in his arm so that we can put a lightsaber in there, I would buy this figure all day long. But the piece de resistance in not just this set, but in all of the figures that arrived in this order is Ghost Yoda. And this figure is just amazing. Chris has done away with the cloth goods cape, and the texture he's been able to get into the sleeves of this particular figure is amazing. And you can actually see how the cuff of the sleeve, there's actually like a recess where the hand comes out of the sleeve, and you have the same thing where the feet come out of the bottom of the pants. Chris has recolored Yoda's walking stick, and the choice of green plastic used here for Yoda's head is amazing. And displaying these three figures in a bit of a Endor styled diorama, this is a dream come true. You cannot go wrong with Stan Solo Creations reproduction Star Wars action figures. Some of them are custom, some of them are reproductions, but this guy knocks it out of the park on every single attempt. And if you want to pick up some of your own, the link to his Etsy store is in the description of this video. But before we finish up, let's just take another look at this set of Ghost Jedi figures. Amazing. I have two more orders placed with Stan Solo. I've got another order for a bunch of figures, including I think the Death Star gunner, A-Wing pilot and his amazing Slave Leia, as well as another order for the Bantha. And I can't wait to review those new products from Stan Solo Creations when they get to the studio.